It's an honor to be talking to you.
You too, sir. What's up?
Well, I have a couple of comments, and I want to hear your response.
Okay.
It's just a blessing to listen to you and how you handle your callers with compassion and wisdom and sensitivity, and you're just using your gifts, and it's just impacting people, and it's just a blessing to watch this happen.
Thank you.
However, that in mind, on your credit cards, I want to hear your comment, because my contention with that, or my credit cards are fantastic tools to have in your shed, and it's you have to be educated to use them. They're sharp, they're dangerous. You don't give them to kids to use, and it's a wonderful tool. And I think you're missing the mark with this whole thing about credit cards. And I think it's about educating, having a discipline, and knowing the dangers of them. And in the general sense, as far as the general public, I think credit cards have been a detriment to other people's. But we use credit cards to get us on your program, and it tracked, and it has, without the use of credit cards, it would have taken us longer to get where we are today, and it's just been a fantastic tool to use.
I'm sorry, help me, how did they help you?
Well, I'll give you a good example. Probably about 4 or 5 years ago, we applied for 19 new credit cards. Mm-hmm. We got $200,000 cash on these balance transfers for 0% for ranging from 6 months to a year, and we took the cash and paid off 2 pieces of property, and eventually just paid off the credit cards and just floated the money for the 6 months to a year. And it was just a wonderful tool, and it was a jumping, it was a starting point.
So what it saved you was the mortgage interest that you would have paid otherwise. That's the wonderful tool.
Yeah, but it just,
How else did you gain other than that?
Well, I think it taught us how to be disciplined and plan. And
why wouldn't paying the mortgage have done that?
Yeah. I mean, it saved us.
The only thing mathematically it saved you was the interest on the mortgage.
Yeah. I mean, we use credit cards.
No, I mean that on this example, I'm trying to understand. Right. Mathematically, the amount you saved was the mortgage interest, and so and you paid the credit cards off within a couple of years. So you would have paid your mortgage off within a couple of years. And so the reality is the huge lift that it gave you was the amount of mortgage interest for 2 years.
Well, not sure if we would have been able to pay them off that quickly, because our payments were...
Because of the mortgage interest.
Excuse me?
Because of the mortgage interest rate.
Yeah.
That's the only difference, because that's the only thing less that you paid than you would have paid on your mortgage. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, use an example. Let's say you had $200,000 in mortgages, and you moved that over onto 0% credit cards,
right?
And you paid that off in 2 years. Well, you could have paid off a $200,000 mortgage in 2 years, plus or minus the interest. So the only thing you really saved was the
it got us to it quicker because we didn't have interest. Yeah, we're saving all that money on initially on the interest. And even then, they came back with, instead of a 0% with no fees, they came back like a 1.9 or something like that. We just milked this as far as...
Oh, so you didn't even save the entire interest. You just saved some of it.
Well, yeah, but every time we did it, we did, I think at the time, the interest rates were under 7%. We knew we were taking a risk and a challenge here, and said, hey, this is the deadline, and we have to... And it gave us time, because we needed time. We're high income, high net worth.
You needed time? I don't understand. Why did you need time?
In other words, we had high income coming in over a period of time. We didn't have the immediate $200,000, but we knew that.
But why couldn't you just applied that high income to the mortgage and paid it off in the same period of time?
I don't know.
You could have, mathematically. I mean, $200,000 paid off to a mortgage or $200,000 paid off to a credit card is the same thing. It's still $200,000. You still accomplished a huge feat.
Well, yeah.
Of great discipline based on your great income. The only lift that the credit card gave you in this example was the interest saved.
Yeah, and it allowed us to the satisfaction and everything else that you promote, and the feeling that, hey, we paid off.
The credit card didn't give you the satisfaction. Paying off the debt gave you the satisfaction.
Right, exactly. Paying off.
But you could have paid off the debt without the credit card.
Not initially, immediately. We went to the bank and said, "Here, we're bringing in this money. Give us the, we're paying this thing off." Boom, one's gone. Then we started working on the others, and we kind of snowballed it and parlayed it, and it just made a huge, huge snowball. And it just
it really didn't. Mathematically, if you pay off $200,000 in 2 years, you pay off $200,000 in 2 years. It doesn't make a huge, huge difference. You've emotionally built this up in your mind to be something it's mathematically not. I mean, I see what you did, and I'm not beating you up because you really did do a great thing in the sense that you paid off all your debt. But somehow you're attributing your fabulous debt reduction to the use of the credit card as a tool, and it really isn't attributable to that. The only thing that moving this process through the credit card did mathematically was save you on the interest. It legitimately did that, and so if you're paying 5% on $200,000, then that's $10,000 it saved you.
Right.
But that's not a huge, huge life-changing lift for a guy who could pay off $200,000 in 2 years. It's kind of a whoopee big deal. $10,000 out of $200,000 in 2 years. I mean, you are the secret weapon, dude, not the credit card.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with what you're saying.
Here's the deal. Let me go back then and address the overall concept, I guess. I see what you're saying, but you're going to have to provide me with a better example where the credit card changed your life, because I've met with thousands of millionaires, and I've never met a millionaire who said, Dave, I made all my money with credit cards. I never met one. Until today.
The thing is, it's just my only point is, okay.
Your point is credit cards are like guns. Guns don't kill people.
I was going to use that.
Guns don't kill people. People do.
I was going to come back with that because I got the impression that you're big,
Yeah, I'm a big gun guy. I got a big collection.
And it's like, to me, I'm more important. It's more important for me to educate and get raise the level of education, which you're doing a great job of. Listen, these things are dangerous.
I think they're so dangerous, and there's so little upside that you and I are just going to have to disagree, because I just don't meet people prospering because of credit cards. I meet people instead. Everybody. I don't meet rich people using credit cards to prosper with. Rich people look at me and they go, "You do what for a living? You tell people not to use credit cards?" Well, nobody misuses. Yeah, they do, honey. There's a whole industry of this. It's most of America is screwed up on these things. They're the cigarette of the They have no upside. There is no upside that offsets the tremendous risk. And so, I see what you're saying, and I get the philosophical idea of where you stand on this. And, you're going to keep using them, and you make a lot of money, and you're a smart guy. It's not going to bankrupt you. You're going to be fine. But conceptually, I can do everything with a debit card, including get bonus back, kickbacks, whatever, that you can do with a credit card, except I don't have to worry about one of these banks coming in and taking my life away from me.
Right.
Because let me tell you what would happen. If you had lost your job right after you took that $200,000 cash advance, you'd have been a client of mine trying to figure out how to not be bankrupt. That's the risk you took. Because you had $200,000 sitting on a credit card. And you know what they do with that 0% interest as soon as they find out you lost your job? They jack it to 29.99% in Citibank. Because your FICO score drops and they're going to nail your ears to the wall.
I guess I had too much faith in my job.
Yeah. The fact that it worked caused you to not perceive the risk.
Right.
It's like the guy who goes in, and stacks $10,000 on a blackjack table at Bellagio.
Oh, yeah.
If he hits, he doesn't perceive gambling as a risk then. He goes, "Oh, Dave, man, I'm good at this. I got this deal figured out. I can pull this off." Now, that's an extreme example. Yours isn't that extreme. But it's that same kind of a genre philosophically. So it's a cool discussion. I appreciate you calling, Paul. It's fun to talk to you about it. But I still stand on the idea that it's different than it doesn't have an upside use. It doesn't have an upside use. And I'm not saying that there should be laws passed to take it away from you.